We have talked a lot about the outgoing commissioners today. There's one person we haven't talked a lot about, and that's the sheriff. And I know that Channel 10's tried to talk to him. I'm sure that the paper has. I'm sure that your paper has. Frank, nobody's talking. He's not talking to anybody right now.
Remember that, probably don't. Everybody's probably too young for this, but there was this early TV show called Car 54, Where Are You? Mm-hmm. And I'm sort of suddenly reminded of that, of Sheriff Hutchison, where are you? He'll weigh in, of course, but he is the premier politician in Knox County. I think certainly many would argue that, and he very staunchly argued that term limits did not apply to him, and that he expected to remain in office. And I think it'd be good to hear from him. He does have this unusual issue of being in position to begin collecting a very substantial pension if he is still employed by Knox County come July 1st. And
talk about the difference with that for our viewers who don't know. It's thousands of dollars we're talking about.
I forget the number, but it's in excess of $80,000 a year, if I recall correctly. Right. Mm-hmm. And the sheriff's not an old man. He'll collect that for the rest of his life, and it's a big chunk of change. And of course, that was what voters voted in this recent election. And I think that he would argue, and many people would argue on his behalf, that he deserves it. He served the time, and he ought to be able to collect it. But he has to be part of the Sheriff's Department within the class of officers that are qualified come July 1st when that pension goes into effect.
And it should be noticed, not just for the sheriff, but it's
correct.
For a lot of folks. Yeah.
Well, the sheriff is a bright man. He's an attractive man. For many, many years has been I would say, the leading political person in this county as far as most popular, the ones who's had the biggest base, the guy that can turn out the votes. So, and he's not just been the sheriff, although I think he's been an effective sheriff. He's got some other businesses out there, too, that he runs. He's had a construction company. I've been told he's involved in buying some car dealerships. My guess is that Tim Hutchison, knowing this might come, has probably set himself up pretty well for business in the private sector.
Well, the sheriff would have told you that we've had this conversation, that he's had these businesses, which he's been criticized for over the years, having a construction company and that sort of thing. But he always made the point that if I don't win the next election, I'm out. I don't have a pension. I'm not like the police chief. The Knoxville police chief has a very nice pension as part of the city pension plan. And so it was necessary, and it always has been necessary, for sheriffs to sort of have something else on the side, because you, especially as you get older, you have to start a new career. You've got your family to think about. So most of them have had other things, on the outside. Now that we do have a pension plan, maybe there would be, with the next sheriff, the suggestion that they don't have to be involved in outside businesses, because there is a pension. But, of course, you need longevity in office to make it worthwhile. So that's always a problem.
Why do you think we haven't heard from him yet?
Well, the opinion came out Friday afternoon, mm-hmm. and I would say that he needed to get with an attorney and find out there is no appeal. What's the best way forward? I'm sure he's also talking with some of the county commissioners, and I would say by the first of the week he'll probably make some sort of statement. But I think he needs some time to sort of digest it all and try to figure out what his next move is, because if he'd come out Friday just shooting from the hip and making some sort of statement, he's a cautious man. Mm-hmm. That's why he's been there for 16 years.
The county mayor said, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it should be pointed out that the sheriff has considerable support on the county commission. I mean, several commissioners have relatives who work for the sheriff. He has, there's been, a lot of them have a lot of loyalty to the sheriff, and I think that he may be also working on making sure his ducks are lined up and that he's touched base. And even though we haven't talked to the sheriff, my guess is that others have.
That would be my guess.
Mine as well. Well, the county mayor said on Friday this is a win for the voters of Knox County. Frank, do you think that's true?
Yes, I do. And I really don't understand, well, I understand it, but if you go back and you look at it, all of these offices are in the same paragraph. They're all constitutional officers. They're all in the same paragraph. They're all in the language of the term limits referendum that passed, you know. So the idea that people are shocked and surprised that this applies to them, I really don't understand it, because if you read the documents, you know, you don't have to be a Supreme Court justice to figure out all these people are in the same boat. The referendum said they're all out. And the people have made it very clear. Every time they've had an opportunity, they voted for it 75, 80%. So there's no question.
It took a long time to get it.
I think it's a win.
Absolutely a win for the people. You know, clearly they wanted term limits. It's just taken a darn long time to get it. And now we ought to move on expeditiously.
And Jack, we're going to give you the last word. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a win, too, and it has taken a long time, and I guess the only shock and surprise on my part was that I didn't expect things to work the way they should work, and yet I think that's what we've begun to see, and I think it'll be a good thing.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us this morning. We appreciate you joining us as well, and hope to see you next week here on Inside Tennessee. Have a terrific rest of your weekend.